Welcome back to Android Authority's Q&A. My name is Jayce, and this is where we try and answer your most pressing Android questions. But to start off, we must, on behalf of Android, wish you a happy 2014. And on behalf of Apple, we will wish you a happy 2013S. Let's get started. First question is about alternative mobile operating systems from LambDudeMan12. Why don't developers create more operating systems instead of just Android and iOS? Good question, LambDudeMan, and the short answer is because it's really hard. It is hard to create your own operating system, even harder to do well. But it is being done. I mean, there's the obvious, right? I mean, there's Windows and BlackBerry and all that. But there is something a few of you will know about called Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is making moves in 2014. So I really encourage you to check out the AndroidAuthority.com article here about what's in store for Ubuntu for 2014. But the following is my personal understanding or personal opinion on the subject. I've said before that I think the entry-level smartphone market, the much bigger market and the much cheaper market, is underserved. These are people who they're not very tech savvy, they're not web savvy, but they sure want the newest, mainstream killer app. They want to play Angry Birds. They want to play, Plants vs. Zombies on a phone. And, most of the really cheap phones on there just don't do these things very well. Those people don't want to spend $400 or $500 on a smartphone, but they want a smartphone. So I think Ubuntu could work a miracle here and do what Windows and BlackBerry haven't been able to do, and that's take a huge chunk out of Android's market share. And that is by serving that lower end market and not creating phones that are just have this planned obsolescence built in, right? They, $200 phone might be great for the first 6 months, but a year later it's like, it's laggy and it's slow. I think this is a great opportunity for Ubuntu. I have interviewed developers from Ubuntu before, or Canonical. Canonical is the company responsible for Ubuntu, and there's some really inspiring guys. They love open source. Ubuntu is open source, and because it's open source, they have a little bit of an advantage in creating a bigger app ecosystem than most other alternative mobile operating systems would have. So it's exciting. We'll have to see what's in store. Solar Shih Tzu says, "Hey Jayce, how can I get the dust out from in between my screen?" Great question, Solar Shih Tzu. Great name, by the way. I did some research for you and found some information that people really appreciated on xdatadevelopers.com, where one of the developers goes through a breakdown of how you could take apart your phone and clean the screen and get out from under it. Now, again, I have to give you a warning. This is for geeks only. If you do not feel comfortable taking apart your phone and successfully putting it back together and following those detailed instructions, take it to iFixit. iFixit does do Android devices too. If you don't have an iFixit in your area, you could consider taking it to someone who is a geek and who's comfortable with taking these things apart and putting them back together. But there is a step-by-step guide there. You can check it out. The link is in the show links below. Hey Jayce, why is it that users all over the world can't access the same content? In Europe, we can't get the same content and features you guys get in the US. That's crap. Didn't you guys know that Canadians get a little sensitive about being called Americans? Love Americans, great country, but I'm a proud Canadian. Well, what you're really talking about here is content distribution deals and the geo-blocking that's used to enforce those deals. So for example, if I want to watch The Daily Show, Jon Stewart, and I go to the Comedy Channel online and watch it, I get a notification that says this content is not available in your country. That is geo-blocking. Geo-blocking is a program that stops or only allows certain countries to watch certain pieces of content. And that's because of distribution deals. So for example, if I want to watch the Daily Show, I have to go to a Canadian network television show that does have a deal with the Daily Show content owners, right? So for example, if AndroidAuthority.com became a television show and was on cable television, we would make deals with different networks within different countries. And if we don't have that deal in that country, we're not going to give our content away for free, right? So that's why you can't watch that piece of content. Now, you were talking about the Google Play Store and movies within the Google Play Store, and those content distribution deals would apply to the Google Play Store. Google has to abide by those distribution deals. Now, these distribution deals are old world media, it's a residue of old world media. In new media like us, our audience is vastly international. I mean, we have more viewers outside of North America than we do in it, I believe. So as media companies become more and more international, those distribution deals won't be as much of a factor, at least we hope. Andreas asks, hi, I need a phone with a 1080p screen, good speakers, and a powerful processor, at least 2.3 gigahertz. Is there any phone like this out there, or should I wait for 2014 smartphones? Do not consider the HTC One. I hate that phone. Well, Andreas, it's unfortunate you don't like the HTC One because that meets almost all of your requirements except for the processor. So you may want to consider the LG G2 and the Galaxy Note 3. Now, they don't have the same speakers that the HTC One has, so you may, if you don't want to go that big, you may want to wait for the M8, the codenamed M8, which is supposed to be the successor to the HTC One. Now, it's supposed to be a little smaller. It was rumored to be, 5 inches, 1080p, great speakers, and using a Snapdragon processor. So if you can wait 3 months, you may want to wait for that. Thanks for watching, Android peeps. My name is Jayce, and you can connect with me here on Twitter and Google+. Don't forget to connect with my brothers in Android, Josh, Joe, and the Tech Ninja, Kevin. And yes, all the items that I spoke about have links in the show links below. Go check them out. I shall see you next week on Android's Q&A.